Hey, what's going on? So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys the basic principles in order to build a high converting lead funnel. Now, I just want to start off by saying that there is no such thing as the perfect funnel. So I want you to stop researching right now and expecting to find the holy grail, because the truth is every funnel is different and the overall tweaks that you have to make to it are variable to your business model, to your target audience, the overall offer. There's so many different pillars. So I can't sit here and say follow this strategy and you'll make a bunch of money, because the truth is that's just not the case. And even if you pocket watch someone and follow their exact funnel to a T, there still may be reasons why yours doesn't convert as well as theirs. So, what I'm going to go over today is a basic principle to get you in the right mindset so you're able to see a funnel, see competitors' funnels, and overall analyze your own and be able to decide whether it's actually going to convert or not. Now, a reason this is great also, if you're on a budget, the last thing you want to do is just dump a bunch of money into ads and then nothing happen, right? I know I've been there. So, again, the point of this video is to try to get you guys to not have to waste a bunch of money into ads and at least get a good vision and a good taste for how to actually build a good funnel. So I'm going to go through some examples of some bad funnels, some good funnels. I'm even going to show you my personal funnel at the end to give you guys the full scoop on how you should go about pivoting your offer for some actual success. So first, we're going to talk about lead filtering. So this is the very top of the funnel. Now, all these screenshots are oriented on Instagram because that's my personal favorite to solicit on, but it also applies to Facebook as well. Now, what everyone is doing now, like this was literally a switch in the past few months. Everyone is running a Facebook lead form. Here's just a few examples here. And what a Facebook lead form is you click the learn more button and you have a slew of questions before you actually get to the landing page or whatever they have at the end of the page. Typically, it's going to be a landing page. Now, the reason this is so important nowadays is because people realized, hey, I'm just getting a bunch of BS clicks over to my page and none of these people are converting. And in Meta's eyes, they're like, oh, we're getting this guy clicks. This is exactly what he's looking for. So, like, for lack of a better word, Meta can be very stupid if you don't have proper filters in place. So the whole point of doing a lead form like this is to filter through leads that aren't eligible. So, for example, people that are clicking 0 to 400K. Honestly, this is a crazy value. No clue what this guy's doing, but 0 to 400K, or maybe if you click no, your baby wasn't premature. Or for this guy, 0 to 3,000. So the whole idea is anytime the lead is inputting the least favorable option, they won't get pushed over to the landing page. And this allows Meta to optimize for people that are not like that person, right? So especially if you have an offer where leads have to be qualified, this is such a good way to filter out all the BS so the people that are actually coming through are able to afford your services or qualify to exactly what you're looking for. And the reason this helps Meta learn what you're actually looking for is because when you set these up, Meta will now optimize for people that have actually made it over to the landing page, and anyone that was disqualified, Meta won't mess with. And if you're curious how to build an actual lead form like this using conditional logic so that you're able to disqualify people that select a certain thing, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link at the top of this video right now, and I'll also leave a link in the description. It's a full video on how to build out a proper lead form that uses conditional logic so you can actually filter through your leads. Okay, cool. So now that we understand the basics of lead filtering, I'm going to get into some losing funnels. Now, what I'm going to go through next is just show you guys some examples and the ads that came up with it, but I'm also going to hop on to the actual landing page and essentially just tear them apart again to give you guys the understanding and the mindset you need to have both when you're creating funnels and when you're pocket watching competitors to make sure, you're not making those same mistakes, or better yet, you see their shortcomings and improve on them for your own funnel. Now, starting off with this one, I'm not going to click over to Lander because everything you see is all we need to talk about, but something you have to make sure you're doing is everything is interpretable even if you forgot everything about the ad. So this guy was literally just a head talking and he was explaining everything, and then you click over here. Now you got to understand that social media is so skeptical right now. So sometimes when you're making claims like 30x with proven YouTube ads and blah blah blah, 30x is like quite literally a ridiculous number, right? And I know he's referring to brick and mortar businesses that are doing a lot anyway, but when it comes to things like this, honestly, you have to have testimonials to back this up. Otherwise, they're just going to assume you're full of shit. So really what I'm trying to explain here is that if you're going to have some sort of crazy offer like this, that's like an absolute, oh shit, like if this is real, I'm going to be rich. This seems like a get rich quick scheme. So at the very freaking least, throw some testimonials at the bottom, or if you're really ballsy, then add a guarantee up here. See, guarantees are tricky because they get a lot of people through the door, but if you don't do them right, then now you may be stuck having to refund a bunch of money, right? Okay, so going over to this one, I will start by saying there is beauty to simplicity, but there's also such thing as being too simple. Now, everything that I'm explaining today, you'll see that I really like keeping things simple. I don't like being overcomplicated, straight to the point, but there's a fine line where it's just too simple. And what I mean by that is literally a sixth grader could have built this maybe in like 10 minutes. Like it's one, two sentences and then a button. And Like, honestly, when it comes to business perception, little things like this really do matter. Maybe not to the little fish that don't know any better, but to any big client that actually has money that's worked with businesses before, little things like this kind of rub you the wrong way. Like, when I see this, I'm thinking that this is a brand new entrepreneur. I don't know if I want to work with him just because I don't know if he has the experience yet. I'm not saying he may not get there, but again, as you can see, sometimes things are just too simple for their own good. Like at the very least, like maybe add an image or something else with the claim you're doing, like such a small tweak. If he had added like a screenshot of his ads manager or maybe some sort of screenshot proof of return on ad spend, something to help convince me a little more because this page so far is not compelling enough for me to want to put my information in? So that's really how you have to pivot it. Like you have to position it so that the transaction information for your VSL or your offer page to actually show what you got going on is enticing enough for them to actually want to put their information in. And again, especially if it's a business owner, a lot of times they're just skeptical putting in their information nowadays because they know they'll just get bombarded with texts from people that they don't even want to be talking to. And then going over to this lander, it's literally the same as the previous one we just saw as far as it's way too simplistic. And then contracting.com as their logo, like you got to be kidding me. Like, think about a high rolling business owner coming over to this page wanting to spend money, but then they see that you don't even have the money to spend on a logo or to spend on a little bit of editing. It really starts to make them think, okay, maybe they're not all there yet. I'm telling you guys, image is everything. So, like, even if you're still living out of your mom's basement or something, if you have the basics set up, it goes a long way as far as your brand presentation. And it doesn't break the bank. I guarantee you, you could find a logo builder on Fiverr for like 20 bucks. So, to each their own, but don't do a logo like this, guys. At that point, I wouldn't even do one at all. Okay, so for this next one, it's pretty much just a questionnaire lander, but what I want to note is that they have a bit of a shortcoming with the fact that the copy on the landing page doesn't do a good enough job fully explaining what they're putting their information for. Now, what the most important thing you need to do is you need to have congruency across all of your landing pages. Now, the important thing to note with this bad example is just the fact that this guy, this talking head, he did a great job explaining it. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go put in my information. But imagine I click over to the learn more button and I just have this in a browser. Forget about it and then pop it open a bit later. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna put in my information. Wait, what was that about? Nah, it's probably nothing. That happens a lot more than you think, guys. All it takes is a couple abandoned carts and you could miss out on a sale. And I know this isn't an abandoned cart, but you get what I'm saying. Like they didn't finish inputting the information, right? So all it takes is one sentence explaining really what they're going to get behind this, aside from just a quote, but like a quote to doing what? Or give me a number value to entice me or to get my mind thinking in money terms. Now I'm like, ooh, I'm definitely going to put in my information. When you do things like explain the amount of money you could get from a quote or pulling back more general terms, you need to use the results that your offer gets as the currency of attraction. See, don't just say, oh, I'm going to get you a quote. Or, I don't know, let's say you're a fitness coach or something. Don't say, oh, I'm going to train you. You need to talk about the results. You're going to say, I'm going to get you a six pack. Or if you're an agency owner like me, you're going to use clients or appointment bookings as the currency. What I mean by that is instead of saying, oh, I'm going to build you an AI appointment setter and all this back-end CRM stuff and it's going to scale your business, that's such like an arbitrary thing. There's really no basis or understanding of like the end goal here. It's like, okay, he's going to build all that, but what's that going to do for me? Instead, if you just say, I'm going to get you 30 clients in 180 days, at the end of the day, that's going to be so much more attractive. And, they don't really care too much about what gets them to the goal. Of course, it's important, but that's something you discuss on the sales call. For the first point of contact, especially with cold traffic like this, if you're not doing these small principal things to actually get their attraction, then the next guy 10 scrolls away is going to steal their attention instead. So again, top of funnel, use your result as the currency, both in the ad creative and in the lander copy. And of course, after this in the VSL or on the sales call, you can get into the logistics behind how you're actually going to do it. But I'm telling you, results will go a long way if you use them as the point of attraction. Okay, so with this one, the point of attraction is again kind of arbitrary. It's hard to say this doubles your productivity. You know what I mean? Like it's a really hard thing to claim. So, and especially if you're selling some sort of high ticket service, people are going to have their bullshit radars on. So they can smell it from a mile away. So you just got to understand, even if you know your product or service sells really well, sometimes you can get caught up in your own head talking about how good it is, all the people that may need it. But at the end of the day, if you're playing it off like it's something arbitrary, like, oh, I'll double your productivity, oh, I'll explode your revenue, oh, you'll have frictionless delegation, like he's just throwing around buzzwords and trying to get people to join it. Like it's just not something that's actually going to convert well, again, when there's no currency behind the result. There's no tangible evidence that he's displaying here. And so I'm not sure I want to give my information to this guy. Okay, so on this next one, when I was scrolling looking for different landers for you guys, so this one could have been so good. And what I mean by that is these guys are balling. I'm not saying by any means that they don't know what they're doing from a real estate standpoint, but they have their funnel set up in such a way where there's no data collection and there's no action either. Like you literally click learn more and then you watch the video. Now it's like a 30-minute video and they probably have some sort of CTA that they're verbally saying, but it's little things like this. Like what if I clicked over to this page, I've been a follower, I don't really want to watch full video and I just want to take action immediately, or better yet, you at least have some sort of lead magnet. So adding data collection is just such a low hanging fruit that literally everyone's doing, and it allows you to do SMS and email marketing. So these guys are spending a bunch of money on their ad creative, and I know that because they have 400 likes. And any ad that gets that many likes is at least burned a few $1,000s on. And hey, they're doing real estate, so they probably have a high ticket offer, so their ROAS could be crazy. But again, think of the one, two, three extra clients they could have got if they simply had a button or some sort of action that the user can take, either to give their information or to schedule a call to talk with these guys. Like it's little things like this that truly make or break a funnel in the long run. Okay, so with this one, I'm not even gonna talk about the copy. Pro tip, never use a YouTube embedded link in your landing page. And I know it may seem attractive, or you may be worried about the fact that your uploaded video doesn't have very good quality, but there's different hosting services you can use, such as Wista or Vimeo. And the reason you don't do a YouTube is because when you click over, this will happen. All right, so I'm clicking on the video. All right, now I'm over on YouTube now because I wanted to watch it in full screen, maybe see a little bit more about this. Yeah, I'm watching this video. I decide to scroll a little. Oh, a competitor. Oh, I'm gonna click on that video. That's enticing to me. Or I keep scrolling. Oh, a cool ads video. I keep scrolling. Oh, Nikolai Jokic. Like it's simple as that, and suddenly I'm distracted. My TikTok brain is elsewhere. I'm no longer invested in what this guy has to say. Now, again, this may be a small percentile that I'm talking about in which this takes place, but those percentages are everything in marketing. So, like, why even mess with it, right? Again, Vimeo, Wista, or you can use the custom MP4 embedding in whatever website services you use, but do not do an embedded YouTube link. All right, moving on here. So this one is crazy quick. So again, I'm on Instagram for this, and this guy is running a send message ad over to Facebook Messenger. And again, I'm an Instagram user. So his fatal mistake in Ads Manager, he didn't set up his manual placements to exclude Instagram. So now he's just burning ad spend on Instagram users like me. Oh, I don't have the WhatsApp. Oh, I don't have the Messenger app. Oh, I'm not going to message him. But, I clicked on his video to see, and he ended up having to pay a little bit for that. So just make sure your placements are set to exactly who you're trying to show it to. If it's a Facebook Messenger you're going for, then only have it on Facebook. If it's Instagram Messenger, then only on Instagram. Okay, so I will say props to this guy. He does have good copy. As you can see, he's using those prepaid patients as the currency, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. And see, he doesn't really explain too much yet about how he's actually going to do it, but the beauty is med spas, they don't care how he does it. Oh, 5 to 10 plus prepaid patients? Oh yeah, I'm going to click on that. And then from there, it's up to the VSL or to his sales call to fully explain the logistics of it, right? Now, I will say, his pitfall, no, it's not that it's purple, although I don't know how I feel about that, but to each their own. It's that it was not optimized for mobile. And this is probably one of the most unprofessional things you can do. Like, it's night and day the difference, right? And a lot of people, when they're building out websites, they'll just build it looking at the desktop version of it, and they don't even think to look at mobile. But again, it's little things like this that will make or break your business. Like for me personally, I would never work with someone if their logo wasn't set up or their website wasn't optimized. And it's not really because I think that they're bad or anything. It's just because as a business owner, I take pride in the work I put out, and I make sure that everything is pristine and perfect before I even consider launching. So if he's not on that same wavelength as me, then I don't know if we can do business together. But yeah, as you can see here, like the emojis are everywhere. It says without. It doesn't even have any of the copy attracting 5 to 10 prepaid leads, which was the whole money shot of this. And what you guys have to understand, if you're selling on Instagram, almost everyone is going to be a mobile user. If there's a scenario where I had to choose one or the other, I'm choosing mobile optimization all day as far as a website aesthetic goes. But of course, if you have both, then you are going to be most successful. All right, so for this guy, the issue is that it's too simple and there's not even a CTA or a button or a form of data collection until you actually scroll down. So his ad is simple, which is fine, but again, when you click over to his page, I'm not immediately seeing any button. You need to have any sort of call to action towards the top, because as soon as people get over to the page, the clock is ticking before they lose interest and log off. And as you can see on mobile, there's a lot of scrolling they're going to have to do. Let me show you guys the landing page now. All right, so as you can see, you got to scroll down. Even on website, you have to scroll down quite a lot. And I can also tell by the way it's kind of shrunk in that he optimized this just for mobile. So here's what he's banking on, and just pretend I'm some sort of slam dunk lead. Oh, wow, cool graph. Wow. Oh, I'm gonna read some of this information. Oh, I'm gonna learn about this guy. Okay. Oh, what's the profit multiplier? Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Wow, look at these companies he worked with. Oh yeah, I put him information. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not what happens. Here's what's gonna happen. All right, how is this gonna help me? He's got this graph, but it doesn't mean anything. I don't really care to know about this guy. Oh, numbers. All right, but like, where's the actual evidence? Does he have any videos? Does he have any actual screenshots behind this, or are these just claims he's making? Scroll, scroll, scroll. I don't even make it to data collection. I'm already off the page, right? At the very least, he should have put this little send message button up top for those slam dunk leads, right? For this guy, he needs to work on his copy. He needs to optimize his desktop page to be fatter so people don't have to scroll as far. Yeah, again, this one was clearly optimized for mobile, which is fine. There's probably got more mobile users, but overall, it's not a good lander. Okay, so this one is kind of similar to the last guy I just showed you as far as the fact that you got to scroll a bunch, but honestly, this one is a little hilarious. So, first off, he's asking the user, urgent, read this before scaling your agency. Like, you're going to tell me to read something? Like, you got to understand with cold traffic, a lot of people are assholes, for a lack of a better word, and they don't care about you. That's the thing about cold traffic. They don't care about you, so you have to make them care about you. The only way to make them care about you is to put themselves first, right? So, do I really want to read all this? And what ends up happening, he gives his whole life story. Like in 2011, oh shit, I didn't mean like in 2011, guys. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you something. It's kind of hilarious. So this is the mobile version. So imagine you're coming from ads and you're on Instagram, of course. So obviously it's going to be mobile. And I click over here and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I guess I'll read it. And I'm sitting here, I'm reading, I'm reading. Oh, okay, okay, I'm learning about all that. I'm reading, I'm reading. Jeez, okay, he's still going. I'm reading, I'm reading. Oh my God, he's still going. He's still going. He's still. See how ridiculous this is? Do not do this. And then watch. At the end of this, after like 10 pages of scrolling, he has the audacity to ask you to watch a 20-minute video on top of the quick 5-minute read you just did. So it's like, dude, you're banking on the lead, spending 25 minutes of their own time, wherever they're at. No, a lot of people aren't going to get this far. So I would recommend him just slash everything, throw the video at the top, and have a really hard claim and use the video to explain everything in words. Because if people don't have to read and they can just listen to it, it's in layman's terms, he's overall going to get more conversions. And that is a fact after seeing this funnel. And I know I said for everyone it's different, but this doesn't take a genius to see that, this really isn't going to convert very well, unfortunately. And again, you keep scrolling, you can see some of his results. And then after the fact, he's also got data collection, but just way down here. And then even more scroll, scroll, scroll. Look, when I zoom out, guys, don't don't be this guy. Like quite literally, if you can get it to where in one screenshot, or like maybe 2 pages worth of screenshots, that's your lander, you're perfect. You're golden. Don't be that guy. Okay, so with this lander, quite literally, way too simple. It looks like a sixth grader did it, unfortunately. So it's just little things like this. Like, you can't be taken seriously if you're not willing to put in the small work of setting up a landing page. Even if you're not artsy, you can look up a quick YouTube video. Or better yet, get a template. There's free templates out there. There's some you can get for like 10 bucks. And going back to Fiverr, you could pay someone online 50 bucks, 100 bucks. They'll build you a badass landing page. Blow this out of the water. So again, if you're trying to start an online business and you want to get taken seriously and you don't want to seem like some little fish, you have to put in little things like this. And again, it's just part of putting in the work. Part of paying your dues is setting up little things like this. Okay, so I don't want to touch on this one for too long because it's absolute waste of time, but I just want you to pause it, read it, and tell me in the comments what their business model is. I bet you can't. And that's the whole issue with this one. What is their business? Okay, so for this landing page, the biggest flaw is that it's an actual website, not a landing page. Now, if you don't know, there's a difference. A website is something that has multiple pages, it's navigatable, you can use it to find general information. A website is great for your link in bio or, just to generally send to people. But if you're doing an ad funnel, you have to have it straightforward. You literally need to herd your leads like sheep into the one direction that they can go. So the issue is they just have their website. And yeah, it ends on the book a free consultation, but he's got a little menu bar at the top and there's a whole bunch of scrolling you can do. But from a lead perspective, assuming I'm a sheep, I'm not going to be as herded as he may have liked because I can click over to different pages and maybe get distracted. Or worse off, maybe I just read too much about what's going on. I think I know everything about his business model and I'm like, I don't need it. And I write it off. That's another issue that I want to point on, actually, guys. There's a fine line between explaining too much about your business model and explaining not enough to where they're like, oh, I don't even know what this is about. This is an example of not explaining enough. I have no clue what this business model is. It gets a little wordy. So this is something that I struggled with a lot, specifically because I'm a tech head and I do AI integrations and I just have a lot of elaborate automations going on. When I was first building my landing pages, I was overwhelmed because I was worried that my leads, my users that were coming over to my landing page weren't going to understand what I was talking about. So I was like, "Oh, Scott, you need to explain every little nitpicky thing. You need to explain why this does that." But then it ends up just being like a long slew of text or like a 30-45 minute VSL. And at the end of the day, a lot of people don't really care about how you get there because they're paying you to do that work anyway. So I really had to reel things in and be like, all right, I need to explain just enough to where they understand what's going on, but also leave room for curiosity for the sales call and also really just harp on the results. If you make a VSL and it's result driven, at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna hop on a sales call, see what this guy's really talking about. And then you use the sales call to get into any logistics, question answering. But again, there's a fine line. Be specific enough to where you're not this guy. You can actually understand the business model that's taking place, but do not by any means overload the lead, especially with useless information that you may think they need to know, but they don't really need to know about. And then with this one, honestly, it's just a cluster of information. For some reason, they have two buttons that go to the same place. If I logged in and edited this page, I would literally cut both of these paragraphs. I would have only one button and just make it a lot more straightforward. Like, it's also weird, like, why is there 2 buttons? They're going to the same video. Here it says 5-minute video, here it says free video, but, like, what are we doing here, guys? Okay, so that was the crash course on shitty funnels, so now we're gonna get in the good stuff. I'm gonna show you guys some game and some actual converting funnels that you should use. Okay, so starting off with this guy, I really like his funnel, and I like it because it is so simple, and he does exactly what I preach as far as explaining your offer in the form of using results as the currency. So when I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, he can get me 10, 20 new high-ticket clients every month. Okay, okay. And I wanna click learn more, and then when it comes to data collection, I'm a lot more enticed to wanna put that in because I at least understand what he's going for. He's using some sort of acquisition arbitrage, and that's what the video is for to really explain it a little more. It's only a 10-minute video. I'm not exactly sure what software he used to embed it, but he's hosting. He's probably using something like Weestar or Vimeo in order to host this. But again, what I want to show you guys here is just how simple it is. He had an ad explaining his offer and explaining exactly what he's going to do from a results basis. You go over there, and all you're seeing is the video itself. Now, I also want to note, I know on some of the other ones I've shown and some of these that I'm going to show also, it's just a simple button before the video itself. So here's another thing you got to think about. Would you rather a ton of people watch your video and only a couple people will actually input their information? Or would you rather get all the lead information and then have only some people watch the video that actually clicked through? And this is something for you to think about. There's no right answer. And I've tested both, and that's why I know that there's no right answer. So I've had cases in the past where I run an ad, I'm like, all right, I just want leads to watch my video and they can decide for themselves if they want to book in. But then I was getting to the issue where Meta was really just optimizing for link clicks. Everyone was watching the video, but they weren't actually. They were just clicking over, clicking off. And so the reason I had set up the learn more strategy was because I have a meta pixel that triggers when people get over to that next landing page. So this is essentially a firewall. The learn more page or the page that takes place before the VSL, before the video is shown, it's a firewall. So people are only inputting their information and getting to see my video if they qualify. And thus that'll tell Meta, all right, I want you to go find more people that are similar to this guy that watched my video. Now, it definitely depends the offer you're running. That's what I'm saying. Like for me, because I'm looking for qualified leads, I do a firewall method like that, that first landing page for data collection. So if you're looking for very specific qualifications in your leads, then do that. However, if you're selling a product or some sort of general service that literally anyone can use, then I would recommend you doing a website because again, there's not really a need for qualification at that point, right? Okay, so the reason I like this one, see, it was borderline for me at first. I was like, do I really like this one? But here's the thing that I like about it. He has a lot of transparency in his opening statement. Discover why low ticket funnels don't work for coaches anymore. And so not only is he explaining kind of what you're going to get from it from a transactional standpoint if you input your information, but he's also explaining things from a way like, hey, your funnel's probably not converting. You're a coach. Click this to see the training. So now he's only got coaches, low ticket coaches, or coaches that haven't made it yet, but they're trying to, interested to see how this guy can help them get to that next level or get a better funnel. And then he's probably got a video where he's doing something similar to me, just explaining why their funnel isn't converting well, right? And another great way to filter that I want to note here. So before we talked about the actual lead form filter, but on a lander, you can also filter people too. So here he has warning, if you're not a coach, consultant, course creator, do not request information. Please leave this page now. He's not just saying that to be mean. He's basically saying this. Hey, don't click over to my lander if you're not my avatar because I have a meta pixel set up, and if you click over, you'll screw me over. right? And so you'll see a lot of people using this, like, get off this page. If you're not this, get off this page. One that I like is like, if you're not making at least 10,000 a month, get off this page. Something like that. Just if someone had like a faulty click, they see clearly, oh, this isn't for me. I'm gonna click off. And little things like that will really save your metapixel. I can't stress enough how important a pixel is. And so if you don't have little safeguards or filtration systems, then your pixel will be as good as useless because it has way too much bad data on it. Okay, so going over to this landing page, as you can see, he's got the result basis, a time frame guarantee as well, which is crazy. So at this point, it's a no-brainer for the lead to put in the information because the transaction is clear. All right, I'm at least going to get some sort of video, and he's going to be explaining, a process on how I can possibly get $20,000 to $30,000 a month in the next 60 days. Now, one thing to note here, like 20, 30K a month, a claim like that is pretty crazy, right? And one thing I want to note also is wording is so strategic in a lot of these guarantees. And here's the thing, guys. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, social media in general, it's a wild west when it comes to business. And that's because anyone can write this. And there's no real way, there's no government regulation, or there's not much legality behind making claims like this. So a lot of people unfortunately get away with posting bullshit, and some people fall victim. But if you see people like Charlie Morgan or some of the big dogs that have like the disgustingly big guarantees, they also have ways to legally bulletproof themselves in the sense that when you're signing a contract, it's like, if you don't do exactly this, this, and this, then the guarantee is void. Or if you don't put up at least $10,000 for ads, the guarantee is void. So imagine a guarantee like this to be a big fishnet. Now imagine I'm a beginner. Oh wow, $20,000, $30,000, that would change my life. So they're getting fishnets of tons of crap leads, and they still probably have an offer for them. If not a downsell, then they may just be like, hey, based on your position, I can't offer you the guarantee, but hey, you can still work with us. That happens a lot more than you think, guys. So definitely be skeptical with people offering guarantees because oftentimes it is too good to be true. And again, just be wary with where you're putting your money. I bought into so many BS programs when I was first starting out a few years ago, and I've come a long way since then. So I'm able to sniff out the BS pretty easily. So hopefully I can teach you guys to do the same. I won't talk too much about this one, but I just like how professional it looks in the sense that everything is congruent from what he's saying on the ad copy, talking about how he was successful scaling his film business and how you can do the same, or sorry, video business, same difference. They got a solid logo. Overall, it's just a nice looking page, and it's simple too. There's a lot of white space. It's nothing crazy. So, like, when I'm sitting here telling you guys to put in the work making a lander, I'm not saying it has to be anything nuts. He just threw a picture in the background, and that's why it looks so nice. But if you take the picture off, it then just becomes a couple lines of plain text, two buttons, a logo, and then a couple tiles. Like, it's not rocket science. Keep it simple, keep it straight to the point, and just make it look good. And again, if you're having a struggle, like, oh, I just don't have a good taste for this. I don't know how to make it look good. What you can do also, you can DM me. I'd be happy to provide you some 2 cents. I could tear up your landing page if you want. But again, also you could go on Fiverr. You could just find a quick guy to do it. I'm thankful enough. I have an amazing landing page guy on my team, so he comes in clutch for me. But I'm not trying to sit here and tell you guys to go spend hundreds or even thousands on a landing page when you're first starting out. I will say once you got a few clients at the door, it's definitely worth the investment because it'll only help you accrue more clients in the future because you'll look like such a professional. Okay, so this one was very much borderline as far as it's almost too much copy until you read the copy that takes place, and then it honestly becomes a bit mouthwatering. And the reason I say that is because next 72 hours, they'll give you something for free. The show me now is to do data collection, and then they got a quick video down here. So it is busy. Like, if I were to do this myself, I would definitely clean it up a little, make the copy a little less wordy. Again, but if you read this white text headline here, it's very enticing. They're using those client results as the currency. And then also, just to note again, up above, as you can see here, they're only looking for people that are making 25 minimum. So it's little things like that. Oh, I'm going to get off the page. And then, as you can see, that crazy guarantee, or you don't pay. So, I mean, at this point, it's like, oh, why wouldn't I? It's a no-brainer. And going back to how I was saying, sometimes people have guarantees, but they're kind of loaded, and it's really not, they're guaranteeing to everyone. Here, I'd say they're probably given the guarantee, but again, you have to remember that they're only working with people that are making 25K plus. So these are very, very established businesses. And I mean, hey, I'm guilty of it too. We love a good business that's already established, especially as marketers. It makes our job so much easier. And beginners are fine too. Like, I even have a program where I teach beginners how to actually go about marketing, getting their first few clients, and I help them out set up their whole AI build to make sure everything is dialed in for their sales fulfillment process. But of course, a pre-existing business owner that's already making several thousands a month is of course always going to trump a beginner. I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but for this one, the congruency from his ad campaign over to his landing page is perfect. He's specifically talking about DMs here, how to optimize optimize them, and he's even explaining how he goes about doing it. Something that I think is awesome in this video, he set up a pop-up like your video is playing, click unmute, and this is just a flash in their face, hey, this is an ongoing video, this is what you're supposed to be watching. Because when the eye first hops over here, they're going to read the headline, and then below, they're going to finally watch the video. It's so simple. Like, let me click over here. I don't even know if he has anything below this lander or if it's just that. Okay, yeah, so for this guy, see, it's straight to the point, which is great, and then below it, he's got just some testimonials. He's got some screenshots. I'm telling you, I'm a big stickler for screenshots. I think they go a long way because it shows proof behind the pudding. It's not just words on the screen anymore. He's got some validation. I'd say this one may be a little long. Data collection towards the bottom, I'd maybe move it up a little bit. But overall, it's a good job. What you'll find a lot of people do, they'll have their offer and everything up here, and then the rest of it below is just spamming results. So I will say, if you're a pre-existing business owner and you can do this, then go ahead and spam a few results down at the bottom, or you can do a neat carousel slider so they're not having to scroll vertically and they can scroll horizontally. So, everything is still relatively close together as far as page navigation goes. All right, and last but not least, I think I lost the screenshot showing the ad campaign, but I absolutely love this landing page, and it's because it's simple, it's easy on the eye, and I think it's very attractive for their target demographic, which is women. Learn how to solve your acne for good. Obviously, this is a huge pain point, and the result is stopping or solving your acne, no longer having acne. Watch a quick video, and like I was just saying with that previous one, she's just spamming results. This is attractive, guys. If you can do something like this and have results to really back exactly what you're explaining in the above video and the above text, your funnel is going to convert a lot better than the guy next door that maybe has a similar structure but doesn't have results tied to it. All right, perfect. So now we just finished going through some of the winning funnels. So I wanted to finish off by being fully transparent and showing you guys the funnel that I'm currently running. And the whole point of this, if you're new to my YouTube, I don't gatekeep, fully transparent. I give everything away. I can answer any questions you have. Just DM me on Instagram and I got you. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys the funnel that I've got built out. And one thing you'll notice is that I've got my stuff optimized on desktop and mobile. You will never see it any other way. Otherwise, I'm not posting it. And the whole point of this, when they click over to my landing page, is that they see the offer that I'm giving, which is my form of the transaction, which is on a result basis. So I'll get you 30 new sales appointments. Give me your information and I'll show you a video on how I can actually guarantee that. And I'm doing done for you, so it's completely built out. And then something to note here. So I'm running a Metapixel. I'm running a 3-step Metapixel. If you don't know how to set up a Metapixel, I have a full video explaining how to integrate it with Go High Level so you can do proper conversions APIs. So no matter if the lead is on Meta's end or if they're on Go High Level's end, we know exactly where they are in the pipeline and we'll be able to track them properly. Anyways, I'll leave a video for that here right now. You can go ahead and watch that and I'll give you the full rundown on how to do this successfully. But again, keep it simple, clear cut, straight to the point, and the whole point is we want them to push over to the actual landing page. Okay, cool. So now going over to the landing page, actually since the time of recording, I switched up the copy a little bit on this front page to specify 60 days because a solid claim for your offer is not only the result, but a time frame guarantee coupled with that as well. So the offer that I'm currently running is I will get you 30 plus booked appointments over the next 60 days of working with me, implementing our AI sales system. And then we just have a video fully explaining it. I had to like splice up the landing pages. That's why they look a little cut in order to show you how it looks on desktop and mobile. But quite literally, it's just a VSL and then a place to book. And then in the actual VSL, I'm, explaining, I have a CTA at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the video, all explaining to book a call. I'm chiming again on the fact that I can get you, and throughout the video, I just chime on the fact that I'll get you 30 plus booked appointments in the next 60 days. And, going back to what I was saying, I've always had an issue with I want to explain more and more to my leads because in my mind, I don't like to purchase something until I know the full scope of it. But then I had to realize, all right, a lot of these leads that are coming to me because they don't know how to do AI integrations, they don't know how to run ads, they don't know how to build funnels. So a lot of the lingo and things I was talking about kind of went over people's head and it was just turning them off. They're like, I don't understand any of this anymore. So I very much simplified it so I'm able to clearly explain it in a digestible manner to anyone that's watching. I think it's honestly at like a middle school level. I know they say keep it at like a 5th grade level or something, but honestly, it really depends the niche because, in my opinion, I think it's important to show off a bit of your competency. So just make sure to reel it in a little. Don't go too crazy, right? And then on this one, the Metapixel that we're running is a lead. So on the first page, we are tracking page view, and I specifically run my ad campaigns to not even care about this, whatever. But if they click over to here, okay, we're going to tell Meta they're a lead. We haven't booked them yet, but hey, they're a lead, so they're getting there. Meta's getting there as far as who they're optimizing for because we got their information. And the best part about getting the information, we can now run an email list, SMS list. If you see my YouTube videos, you know I love doing these marketing strategies. All right, perfect. Now, assuming a lead clicks on my sales calendar, we will now end on the most important landing page. I know I said at the beginning that there's no like secret I could tell you guys to build a lander, but honestly, if there's one secret that you should write down or take with you, screenshot this right now. The thank you page is so slept on. And the reason why is because if you do this properly with Metapixel tracking, you can track every single lead that has ever booked in with you and go back and tell Meta that instantly. So what I do for my ad campaigns, and again, in that YouTube video I was telling you about, you should go watch it. I'll put a description as well. But the whole point of the ad campaign is to tell Meta, hey, I want you to go optimized for people that are triggering my schedule Metapixel. So now Meta is going out and trying their best to do comparisons on that lead that just booked in. It'll take some time. It could take a few $100s, could take a few thousand to slowly optimize. But man, if you're trying to get booked calls to the door, this is how you have to do it. And I wish when I was starting out a few years ago, I had learned to use a Metapixel sooner, because for a while I was just running ads and I was letting it optimize on its own, but Meta was just kind of doing its own thing. I didn't have any tracking on my end. But when you implement little things like this, it just adds an additional set of data. And if you do a 3-step funnel right and have it funnel over to a landing page, it's going to be so good for converting in the long run. And the best part about this is that your Metapixel gets to learn over time, and it's only going to strengthen your offer and only strengthen your ability to run strong ad campaigns that will actually get you clients to the door. But anyways, aside from the importance of the actual thank you page, a great thing to add on the thank you page is to make sure that they confirm their appointment, because a big issue with booking cold traffic is you may have no shows. So just doing little things like confirming the booking, or if you have a pre-call video, you want to nurture your leads a little more before they hop on the sales call, this is a great place to put it here. If you don't have a pre-call video, I would recommend putting your social media here. I just put an embedded YouTube link on this picture, so if they click anywhere on the picture, it'll pull them over to my YouTube, just to kind of nurture the lead, pollinate them on some of my other videos, so by the time they hop on the sales call with me, they know a little bit more about what I'm doing, what I'm offering, my competency, how I can actually go about helping, right? It'll depend on your offer, but the thank you page is very slept on, and I'm telling you not to sleep on it. Definitely use it for yours. As you can see here, of course, it's optimized for mobile as well. But yeah, so just to reiterate, so 3-step funnel. This first page, its entire existence is to act as the firewall, first line of defense, filter bad leads out, only let good leads in. Any lead that pushes through, gives us their information, now gets denoted by the Metapixel as a genuine lead. They get to watch our video, and oftentimes how the Metapixel will work, if a lead comes through but they don't convert into a schedule, then they're going to be subject for retargeting. That's going to be an easy money retargeting campaign right there. Assuming that they do book in, then they'll push over to the landing page. Now we're telling the Metapixel, hey, this lead booked in, go find more people like this lead. And now we can nurture the lead a little further with some additional pre-called videos, or just some video that has value. The opportunities are endless. It's just more so about having something here rather than just a page that straight up says thank you, because you can still manage to interact with them in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, guys, that's all for me. I hope this made sense. Please let me know if you have any questions. Matter of fact, if you guys want to DM me on Instagram, if you have any questions about your lander or you want me to take a look at it, I'm happy to tear it apart for you and, give you some constructive criticism and show you how you need to improve on it, just give you kind of my expert thought and help point you in the right direction. And if you're not subbed by now, then go ahead and drop a sub. I'm going to be dropping 2 to 3 videos a week from now on for you guys, going over things like this, just online business practices, ways to position yourself as an online business owner, how to have high converting lead funnels, AI appointment setters, paid ads, and so much more. See, the whole goal of this YouTube journey for me is really just to explain to you guys everything that I know and hopefully provide you with a little more knowledge than I had when I was first starting out. You see a lot of BS people, trying to claim that this is the best way to do things only for them to try to charge you to buy their course. But you'll always finally have some sort of fishy angle with things or some sort of trick up their sleeve to get you to buy something. So I'm really just trying to go against the grain, continue to be authentic, be myself, and not gatekeep anything, and hopefully teach you guys a few things along the way. And on that note, I'll see you on the next video.